Nerd, I can't see the game. Hello everyone, sorry for the delay as we see the first down happen onto Gambiter by Vamp. But I am Nugs, your caster for set 1, game 2 of the Clown set versus, or Archon versus Reminiscent. Our win con is a 4K at 3 generators remaining, a very strong win con set by Pizza's Clown onto Reminiscent Survivors. We see an unhook come through very quickly onto Gambiter, looking for this tunnel out. And we see the build of Pain Res, Devour, Ruin, and Corrupt. We find the interrupted reset onto Gambiter, Pizza here for a body block. It will come through, and we will be going for this tunnel out onto Gambiter. With Chase in this main building here. The pink bottle runs out just in time for Gambiter to not get slowed and make this pallet here. As this chase gets extended for longer, 50-50 does get eventually lost, and that will be Gambiter hitting the second stage. 2 generators popping already. 1 more generator and Tycon will be achieved by Archon survivors. As we take the hook near the docks, looking towards the shack generator here, and the docks one seeing little progress as we find Pizza and a scream from Next. Slowing Next down, and we will have this chase at the Godlog here. Pizza will be getting the pace, but it won't matter as the 50-50 was lost. Pizza going down, and now a slugging situation has been formed to try and secure this tunnel out onto Gambiter. We see no sight of him. It looks like our tunnel out has successfully... Nope, we found Gambiter. A tag onto Fetter Panda Lap, and we will be going for this tunnel out on Gambiter with this chase at main building. We're back at this main pallet here. Very strong hit coming out from Vamp. And chase brought right back to this second floor of the main building. Trying to cut off does not work out. We hear a slow vault, I believe, come through. Pallet drop from the ground level of the main building, trying to walk around, cut Gambiter off from making anything else, forcing him to stay at this main building. Slowed down, might be slowed down just enough. Does make the pallet, and has not dropped it yet. Pallet does go down now, as we see the break come through, and the haste will help us catch up to Gambiter quickly. And it looks like this hit will come through. The third generator has popped, so now Tycon has been achieved by Archon survivors. Firecracker dropped. Save does not come through, just a little bit late. And that will secure the death onto Gambiter. Now forcing a 3v1. With 1 more generator popping, will be securing us. We'll be securing Archon, the win con for today's set. Clown set. We see doubling coming through on the docks, and the generator pops, confirming Archon taking these sets. This was Archon's pick, and Reminiscent has picked Plague. That will be our next set. Pallet drop on the docks, finding Tap here. Breaks pallet, and we'll be keeping this chase at the going to Shack here. Good hit comes through, and that will be a tag in result. Shack pallet will get dropped. Tap will get slowed. And Camp believed this chase would stay Shack, but instead we take it to this tile here. Solid seawall pallet, making the reload and swinging through the pallet, getting a very nice down. A flashlight save comes through by Pizza. There will be no pain rush happening here today as the final generator does pop. And now we find Tap trying to open the gate. Try to force blocker, does not come through. And we're gonna slug here, try and prevent some survivors from escaping this match. But it looks like we do not make it to this gate in time. I believe whoever was on that gate had dropped it, and now is instead gonna go for the pickup onto Panda here. Was not going for the pickup as a matter of fact, but instead trying to slug, and we find Pizza on the gate. Gonna keep this chase edge map, trying to cut off with the bottle. Reloading our bottles here. And it looks like we might not catch up. Gate opens, that would be by next. And that confirms those survivors escaping. We're gonna go back to Panda and pick them up to get a 2k6. We hear Tab trying to crawl for that hatch. Fortunately, does not get that hatch. And we see the hook come through, securing a 6 stages 2 fresh. Nice little spin. And some bottle throws to celebrate this matchup being done. We will see you guys with the next matchup of Plague on Suffocation Pit 1 with Reminiscent killing first. Very strong performance by Archon with this clown set here. We will see you with that next matchup. Hello everyone, welcome back to Archon versus Reminiscent Set 2, Game 1 of Plague on Suffocation Pit 1. Here, we see the build of Pentimento, Ruin, Painres, and Corrupt. Hopefully getting that insane Pentimento value as Ruin already gets cleansed. Found immediately at the main building. Very unfortunate for Vamp here. Oof. I believe we found a survivor on this hill. And it looks like that will be Nex. Taking the chase towards the center of the map with these very strong tile setups. Looks like we're not committing to this chase, and instead finding Pizza here, avoiding that infection. Bolts right into the killer's arms, and that will be an early M1 as we see Nova get on an infected generator. Trying to get this infection onto Pizza so eventually they will not be able to get healed. Breaking this jungle gym pallet, infecting this 3 generator here, and leaving the chase to go try and control some other generators. We see another survivor on this 9 generator, and it looks like we are going to be consuming our first bit of power here. With this Corrupt Purge, Vamp will be very strong here. We hear the puking of Nova. Very good job at avoiding this Corrupt Purge here. While this chase is at the main building, Corrupt almost over. And there will be a down onto Nova, ending Corrupt. And we shall be taking this hook towards 11 here. Trying to look for that Pain Res hook, I'd assume. We shall see if it is a Pain Res hook that comes through. And it is. And it looks like a 7% also came through with that Pain Res, as we see a missed skill check notification as well. We see progress on this 3 generator. And we find next looking to try and take this chase towards the bottom side of the map, as there is a 4-gen top side here, avoiding this Corrupt Purge, and that will end the power for Vamp here. Now we're just in the middle of the map. We know where all 3 survivors are, as the 2 bottom side generators do pop. We see one cross looking to get this pull, and hopefully not it be a trade, and it is not a trade. Successfully making it not a trade, and as we drink our second power here, we will be out of power unless survivors do cleanse. As this chase gets brought onto Pizza, avoiding some Purge, trying to keep this chase alive for as long as possible, as we eventually will be dying edge map here. Very strong dodge, and now we do go down. We can take this Pain Res in the bottom mid side of the map. And it will come through. Very strong generator setup for Vamp here with this practically 5-gen top side. And we see a survivor on the bottom side of the map. That looks to be Nova. Trying to get some Purge through the shack. Does not work out. And barely avoids that Corrupt Purge. Very strong. Shack pallet does drop. Vault comes through. Avoiding that Corrupt Purge too. Trying to mind game Shack, and it works on Nova. Looking like a hook in the same bottom mid part of the map. Everyday does get fully infected now. And a 3rd generator does pop, weakening this gen split here. Infecting the top mid generator and the 3 generator here. Looking to go 11 to see if anyone is working, and it does not look like it. We find scratch marks of a survivor in the main building. We see it, Garnberter gets the rescue onto Nova, but not looking for a tunnel out, instead trying to go for it. Everyday Pizza getting next infected, and that will be everyone infected now, which will later mean everyone will be injured unless cleansed. Next, doing a very good job on avoiding that Vile Purge, and now a 4th generator does pop. We have a slight 3-gen topside now, and we find our tunnel out. Tries to get the Lithe off, but does not work out for Nova, and that will secure a 3v1. You see Gambiter trying to get a flashlight save, but it does not work out, unfortunately, as Vamp looks the other way. And we find Pizza at this main pallet here. Tries to M1 through the pallet, does not work out. Pizza gets the sprint burst away, and next uses balanced landing to get to safety in the middle of the map. We find another survivor that is Pizza in this 3-gen, forced to play these pallets. in this 3-gen. Down here will be Pizza or Vamp, and it comes through, getting a hit through the pallet. We're gonna slug here, look back at main, and we find a survivor off guard. Gonna kick this generator. Looking main here, and more pressure comes through. We know the location of both of these other survivors. These survivors will not be able to work these generators safely, as safety is not near for the 10 generator. We hear a pickup trying to come through by Nex, but we catch on at the main building here, and a down may come through. Pickup onto Pizza by Gambiter, and we continue to slug here. We hear a puke come through from Pizza. Vamp does catch on, and Pizza is caught off guard, but with Sprint Burst, able to make it to safety. At this pallet here, tries to swing through the pallet, does not work out. Puking, not being able to get the blind. Now just trying to loop around Guy Edge map and keep the slug going. We find the final survivor. We see Pickup not able to come through, and the down comes through as well. And that will secure the 4K at 1 generator remaining. Very strong hit through the pallet that is able to secure this win con for Reminiscent's killer. Archon's killer will now have to meet or beat this win con with a 4K at 2 generators remaining. And if Reminiscent takes this set, we will go on to the tiebreaker with his Demogorgon on CT1, which will be interesting to see. Pentimento stack does come through, and now we are looking for this slug onto Pizza, who went down at 11, but could have crawled. No crawling had happened, so we will be finding Pizza here, and now we may see Vamp try and do some celebratory victory 4K moves, perhaps. Just waiting for these survivors to eventually hit their second stage and get taken towards the entity. Putting some puke on everything possible, getting those blood points up. And we see Gambiter hit the stage. Next, we'll slowly follow suit towards that second stage. As he hits it now, all 3 survivors will be taken up to the entity. And we shall see you guys for Archon's Plague trying to meet or beat a 4K1. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to set 2, match 2 of Archon versus Reminiscent. Here, I am Nugs, your caster, and we see Plague on Pit 1. For those that missed the first game of this set, the win on established was 4K2, and Reminiscent survivors have to either meet or beat that win con in order to go to the tiebreaker of Demogorgon on CT1. We see Pizza looking for some survivors. We find Polito here, trying to get some infection on them. And they run onto the hill, triggering their balanced landing. Pizza going everywhere with the infection, and it works, getting Polito infected. M1 comes through. Nice mind games coming through by Pizza. And now we see Chase running around Water Tower toward Check. And now we leave this chase and we see a survivor try to cross over towards the middle of the map onto the 9 side. Infecting these generators to make sure no one can work on them without being infected, as Corrupt is officially 3/4 of the way through. We find Jambo here, or Swift My bad. On this main pallet here, a swing comes through and is 50/50s have been won, and that will extend this chase longer. Gonna kick this generator as Corrupt almost runs out, reinfecting this middle generator and the 9 generator. See infection come through on Swift, and now that confirms that he has touched one of the infected generators. Pizza making this 4-gen nice and stable to try and get a 4K2 to win the set. We're gonna take this chase onto Jambo here, infecting another middle generator and leaving the chase to instead go to the bottom side of the map and infect these other generators. We're not gonna infect the shack generator as a matter of fact. We find scratch marks of Swift here, and chase gets started. Onto Swift. Mallet drops. Break comes through. And we leave the chase to go check on our little 4-gen here. Kicking the middle generator, making sure it gets no progress on it. And heading over to the top side of the map to... We hear generator progress coming through. We also heard coughing, but Pizza did not hear it. And we will be going back towards the 9 side here. Main generator has fully regressed. Gonna keep puking on these generators, making sure these other 2 survivors, cannot work them without being infected, giving up a free health state. We once again find Swift here at the bottom side of the map. Going to play this filler at 5. Stun comes through. Pallet instantly gets broken. We hear progress on Shack. And we find Polito here out of position. Like, Window Vault comes through. Gonna play some mind games. Eventually wins it. And that will be the first down of the game coming through. Pickup will come through. And now we see agitation to take us into the middle of the 4-gen. Perhaps even a pain res as well. We see progress on the middle generator. Let's come through. Gen pop just in time to not get affected by pain res. And that will be an instant infection onto Vamp. And with this hook nice and steady in the middle of this 4-gen, we see Pizza in a very strong position here. Power will be consumed. That is 80 seconds of power because of our purple add-on. Trying to weak fire Deco here, leaving the gen, but it does not work. Deco catches on and is able to dodge the Corrupt Purge accordingly. We're heading back to 1, going everywhere with the puke, and we see a trade come through onto Jambo. Quick down, however, onto Polito. This trade will result in 2 hooks happening. Swift is no mither, so if Pizza does keep him slugged, he will be able to pick himself up. And sometime within the next 5 seconds, yep, now, unhook comes through. That is some no mither value for us. Going everywhere with the Corrupt Purge does not work out. Going to try and make this plugging situation a very deadly one. Does not work out though, and we'll be going back for the pickup onto Vamp here. Right after we pop those people on this 1 generator, and we'll be puking on. We're gonna break the main pallet here, and then pick up Vamp here, and Pizza will be taking her to that same hook which is a very strong pain res hook to have. There will be pain res on a generator, pop applied to the middle generator, and now reapplying infection onto all of these other generators. We find Swift here. Deco is now infected. Our second pool of power has been consumed. Trying to look for that survivor, did not find him. Unhook comes through onto Vamp. And now we shall try and get this tunnel out onto Vamp. I'm gonna go around main, trying to play around the mine, get stuck on the wall for a little bit. Might prove deadly here. Getting the stun. That will be out of power for Pizza. Now the blind comes through as the pallet break happens. Chase is kept main. This down will be coming soon, but now that we have no more power, this will prove rather efficient for the Reminiscent survivors. While we still have that middle hook, which is pretty deadly in this 4-gen. Having no more power earlier than it should have been, we hear high progress on this middle generator. It's not able to get the pick in or get the pop in time as the final bottom side generator does pop. We find Swift here in chase, taking it towards the bottom side of the map, and we will not be committed to this chase. As chase continues, we can tell that Swift is following, trying to pressure this unhook and these generators as we watch this middle generator regress. We see Swift still trying to pressure. A cleanse comes through by Polito, all the way at 7, very far away from the gen spread. And Swift has successfully made it across the middle of the map, getting some infection onto Polito. Down comes through on Swift. Trying to go for a quick infect does not work out. Breaking the middle pallet here. And we'll just be taking the pickup onto Swift, as that will be another pain res. We hear the anti-3-gen warning come through as pain res likely hit the middle generator. Quick bolt comes through, that will be life from Deco, as this chase is still within the 4-gen and the unhook has come through onto Swift. This down needs to come through quickly. Bloodlust coming through. Some mind games trying to come out. Still make the pallet, however. A swing not greeting the pallet, having to leave the chase, go back to this middle generator, and it might just pop. That will secure Tycon for Reminiscent. And now there is only one generator remaining. We see Vamp try and make it to main. Polito is now dead. That confirms a 3v1. The final generator pops, and that will be Reminiscent taking this Plague set. Quick down comes onto Swift, and now a slug situation has been created, but however, Swift does have no mither, so he will be able to pick himself up. As Pizza does not realize this, gonna take it down onto Deco here with that last frame Bloodlust coming through. Going to take this hook here over at 9. The pickup does come through from Swift's no mither. Gate opens, and standing still comes through from Pizza. As Reminiscent does take this set, that will be a 1-1, and now we shall see this Demogorgon set come through. Looking like survivors are playing Watch Me Leave. And as the other two survivors get out of this game, Dika will be taken towards the entity, and Demogorgon on Coal Tower 1 will be our next matchup between these two teams, Archon and Reminiscent. We will see you then. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Archon versus Reminiscent. This is the tiebreaker set of Demogorgon on Coal Tower 1. We see Pizza's build of Forced Hesitation, Pain Res, Pop Goes the Weasel, and Corrupt Intervention. And we shall be just looking for these stealthing survivors to start off our first game as we break one of the main building walls here. We find a survivor in the main building, perhaps using their balanced landing, and we see another survivor that is Vamp in the main building, faking the window, trying to bait a shred attack, does not come through. Good dodge from Vamp, however, gets cornered. A head-on attempt coming through by Swift does not work out, however. And now we shall see a mind game try and come through on main to cut off Vamp, but it does not seem to work out. Quick pallet stun coming through by Swift, gaining smash hit from that stun. That is the Sincar pallet gone at the main building. Progress on this middle generator here, as a strong 5-gen is on the top side of the map. We find a survivor here at 7, that is Polito, trying to bait a shred through the pallet. Goes for the tag, does get it. Break this pallet here, zone Polito towards the 9 side of the map. Just gonna be going edge map. Barely dodges that shred. And now this down will be back. Forced hesitation does go off. A flashlight almost got the save. Very close. Does not get the blind from that hook either. Pain Res coming through. And now a quickly going into this second chase. A potential trade may be happening. We have lost scratch marks. And instead going to this bottom middle generator, applying Pop Goes the Weasel as we see Deco pre-leave from it. We find Vamp again at this double window tile. And a hit does come through. Looking to see if anyone is going for the pull. We once again find Deco pressuring this bottom middle generator here. But the kick does come through on it. And now we are going to be securing the second stage onto Polito here. Just looking for any rotating survivors. You see the entity claws fully form, and within the next 5 seconds, Polito will be entering that second stage. Looks like we may also be securing this kill by the looks of it, as we also saw the 11 generator pop during this time. We're just standing around looking for any survivors that might be rotating for a trade onto Polito here to secure Polito's life for just a little bit longer. And we see no survivors so far. They're just banging those gens, getting out with those generators. Looking like Polito will be having a last-minute rescue by Deco here. And Vamp going in for a double save. Deco gets hit. Vamp gets the unhook. Vamp also is able to take the hit. Polito able to make some distance here with the 10% haste, but does not look like we'll be making anything. However, Forced Hesitation will be coming through with that hit tank. However, still makes the window vault. Forced Hesitation still active, this 20% slowdown, and does not make this pallet because of that. That will be after we hook Vamp here. or not hook vamp, just making sure that slug was still there. Firecracker, little bit early, unfortunately, does not get the firecracker save, and that will be a death at 4 generators remaining, forcing this 3v1 with a hook already coming through. 3 generators remaining now, as a pain res does come through. We find Swift at 11 here, trying to pressure that generator, and we know Deco did pop that bottom middle generator. So this is a very strong situation for Pizza, having a lot of pressure on these survivors right now. What really can happen here is just banging out gens, hoping for the best, and making sure Swift cannot pressure this 11 generator. We see a kick up through with Pop goes the Weasel, not going to commit the chase, trying to bait, running away. Unfortunately, shreds the generator instead, however. And the unhook also comes through onto Vamp. Chase getting brought to the main building. Quick vault comes through, but Pizza reads it and is able to get a shred. There is nothing here at the main building, however, other than that window, and that will cause Swift going down. This will be another Pain Res. Reset comes through onto Vamp. And Pain Res does also apply on that hook. We see a full reset come through on Vamp and Deco. Pizza is looking for this reset. We found Vamp here on the bottom side of the map as Chase gets brought towards 7 here, but this pallet was already dropped and broken, perhaps not to Vamp's knowledge. So now we are just running edge map, trying to make the 6th pallet. There is no pallet there. And a unhook comes through onto Swift as Vamp does go down, contributing to the cycle of one person on hook, one person in chase, and one person going for that pull. We may see a reset happen onto Swift here, or Deco going for a pull. Head towards 11 to check on its progress. We see it's practically neutralized now, as we TP towards the bottom side of the map to try and catch anyone off guard. Pull does come through by Swift. It comes through. Vamp affected by forced hesitation, but instead we'll just go for the pickup and take him back to this 6 hook here. That is second stage for Swift. And now we are going to look for Vamp. We see progress on this 5 generator here. And now heading towards the top side of the map to see where Vamp could have rotated to. We see scratch mark and high progress on this 3 generator. Portal comes through, unhook comes through onto Swift, or portaling back towards the hook, trying to find these survivors. We see one at Shack, that is Swift, found at Shack. And a click down comes through as Pizza does not fall for a bait on the thread. Forced hesitation value as well onto Vamp. And we heard the killer instinct on this generator as well from the portal. So a slugging situation has been formed. Generator pops, securing this 4K at 2 generators remaining. As a missed shred comes through. Good dodge by Deco. Another amazing dodge by Deco, getting the window vault and playing for his life in this final chase of the game. Chase has been brought to main building. We see nothing here, however, unfortunately. May be able to make that window. Fakes it. Pizza goes for the shred, and it does not land. Tag comes through onto Deco. And a second tag right after. That secures a 4K at 2 generators remaining. with some very strong forced hesitation value. If it wasn't for forced hesitation, this game probably could have looked a lot different, especially with that pallet between the tank tires at main. We're now looking for these final two survivors. We see Swift here at the shack pallet. And now we're going to be taking the 6-hook. Now all that's left to find is Vamp, as the death happens onto Swift. You're looking for Vamp around where she was recently downed. I'm going to go into the basement, and we hear no Ada grunts of pain, which will mean she is not nearby. Now looking towards this 9 side of the map here, around the edges, trying to find Vamp. Eco does hit that second stage, and as we continue looking for Vamp, Reminiscence Killer does have a very hard win con to achieve for Demogorgon, as they will need to meet or beat a 4K at 3 generators remaining in order to take this matchup. We find Vamp at the tank tires, the main building, and that will be every survivor dead at 2 generators remaining officially confirmed. Very strong performance by Pizza, insane force participation value. And we shall see you guys with the final game between these two teams.
Welcome back, everybody. Unfortunately, due to a few unfortunate circumstances involving a bit of a power outage, Nugs is no longer able to cast this match, so I will be taking over. My name is Snapply Pie, and we are going to be seeing Reminiscent taking on the role of killer here with Swift, playing the Demogorgon, and they will be working with a very difficult win condition, 4K3, which I'm not sure if they're prepared for this, but they're going to have to be. 4K3 win con has been set after last game due to a few unfortunate setups there, and now first chase being taken on to Nex at the main building. Coal Tower 1 is the balancing map we have set for Demo. It is fairly balanced for him, but Swift doesn't have the setup time to put their portals where they want to, which could be hugely impactful going into the mid game. And it looks like they're just going to be playing very aggressively, trying to get these early downs instead of playing the long game here. Chase lost on Nex, now going to take Chase onto Nova here. Very strong filler to use. A lot of these Macmillan fillers can be used as infinites if played correctly in Nova, getting a beautiful stun onto Swift there, and just going to be able to make distance towards the top side of the map. This is exactly what you want if you're playing for Archon, is you only need to pop 3 generators to secure a tie. Swift with incredible patience there, not letting Nova crouch check them at the 4 lane. Chase going to be continuing into the corrupt side of the map. Again, exactly what you want with if you're Archon. Surprised to not see this pallet get pre-dropped. This may just be down onto Nova, but no, just barely misses Swift, just not having high enough ping to get the hit there. And now Nova has a decent setup to play with, but they don't quite make it to the card pallet. A bit of doubling back there, and that will secure Swift the first down. The question is, how much progress do the survivors on Archon have so far? This is a pain resonance hooks that will limit what they can do right now. But again, all it takes is 3 gens popping, and that is a tie at the very least secured. And Demo, in terms of power, is not a killer we often see with high win conditions like this. So it's going to be interesting to see if Swift is up to the task here. They do finally have a bit of downtime with which they can place their portals and make sure they can defend these generators, allowing them to quickly traverse back to the hook and possibly interrupt an unhook, but it doesn't look like anybody's coming right now. It looks like Archon is just content to work generators and leave Nova hang, as realistically that's all they really have to do here. We hear this generator with very high progress. The one that Swift popped earlier also had around 80%. So the survivor is very gen efficient right now. They don't really have to get this pull anytime soon. They can let Nova stage if they have to, but they do catch Nex out here, and Nex, if they take a hit too early here, can be in a very dire situation. if you're Swift right now, you just need to chain together these pain resonances and have a lot of pressure map wide, but unfortunately that's just very hard to do on Demo, especially when you didn't have your setup phase at the start. Still not able to find out the survivor on the seawall, doing an amazing job stealthing, not giving Swift any free pressure. Realistically, Archon can play this as slow as they want, while Swift is being forced into a different playstyle than they're probably used to, having to go very fast-paced here. Chase going on to Nex once again. We see the second generator at the seawall popping. However, Swift does get a lunge attack onto Nex here, but now Nex does have Shack to play, and this could be a long chase, but no, Nex actually vaults straight into Swift's line of sight, allowing for a very quick down. 2 gens have been done. Swift will have to secure 4 kills at 3 gens remaining right now in order to secure a win. And it's not quite possible as the 3rd generator pops. The survivors and Archon just not even bothering to get the pull earlier, just going for these generators. Fortunately, they did get the unhook before second stage, and now Swift is left with 2 hooks here, 2 gens remaining. A very difficult result being played for. Chase now being taken on to Gambiter. Gambiter realistically just needs to buy enough time for Pizza and Nova to get more gen progress and possibly try playing for this unhook. The survivors and Archon know there's not going to be anything like Noah being played due to the win condition, so they can realistically leave next for a while and just crank generators. Now with the chase at the very strong seawall, that is going to be the stun onto Swift, allowing Gambiter to make it back to the top side of the map. But do you want to be taking chase here? It does look like Swift does still have a 3-gen top side. This could be an unfortunate slip. And again, there is 1 generator very far outside of Swift's 3-gen that could be worked on by the survivors. Doubled, even tripled if they want to. That is going to be pain resonance. No scream indicating that the survivors did manage to calm in time. Chase going to be taken onto Nex. This has to be a very quick chase if you're Swift. Swift may just want to consider going and trying to find a Pop Goes the Weasel on one of their remaining generators. It looks like they're going to traverse back towards the top side of the map, anticipating a survivor on the main building gen, but we don't hear any progress there. We do hear a lot on this corner generator though, and does it pop before Swift even makes it there? No, not quite Swift, but Swift needs to use Pop on this gen, which they do in fact finally get to do, pushing Pizza off the gen. But Pizza, one of the healthy survivors remaining, they can't commit to a chase like that. They have to figure out where Gambiter or Nex is. Unfortunately, Pizza once again pre-running away from the teleport, anticipating where Swift is going to emerge, and being able to just take chase comfortably at the strong tunnel, but getting a lunge through the pallet. Pizza was not quite anticipating how aggressive a play Swift was about to make. Taking the chase towards the bottom side of the map. Not quite able to land the lunge, very slightly off. Swift doing an excellent job so far, not quite being able to take the win condition, but still holding the tie condition at this point in the game. It's always difficult when you're playing killer. You have to play around a much more difficult win con than you're used to, as it severely limits how you're able to play. You have to change up your play style to something that you're not used to. Eruption did go off on this corner gen, allowing for Swift to take another chase onto Gambiter here, with the knowledge that this gen will not be popping. But Gambiter playing around the car pallet beautifully, making distance towards main building. Because of the broken door here, Gambiter can treat this like a normal tile, and Swift not quite able to get the hit, and that is going to be the 4th generator pop, securing the win for Archon. But the game is not over yet. Swift can still play for a better result here, even if the set is lost. This will regardless be a 2-0 for Archon, but it is now up to Swift to secure the best result possible for their team, just for the looks in the future. They do get another beautiful lunge onto Gambiter, and Gambiter, a lot of the tiles on this side of the map have been used up. They have this filler, and they do not even have the trash gem palette anymore, the Ormond tile. Swift going for some insane mind games, possibly catching Gambiter out of position here. Gambiter with the beautiful crouch tech manages to dodge the attack. Hit tank coming in from Pizza, very well timed, allowing Gambiter to vault the seawall and make more distance towards Shack. I would be surprised if Gambiter decides to commit to this. Instead, going to shift focus onto Pizza here. If they can play for a 2k6 result, that is perfectly respectable for the Demogorgon. nothing that we haven't seen before. It is a very respectable win condition, but it relies on them being able to get this down onto Pizza. The survivors know there's not going to be no hit or something, so they can come for hit tanks, which may be coming shortly. Beautiful crouch tech from Pizza. They get the stun as well onto Swift. All it will take is one hit tank from Next, most likely, if they have this gate ready. Pizza buying a ton of time, just running around the seawall with no pallet on it, and finally hit tank coming in from Nova and Nex. Swift can try cutting them off outside of the main building, but the survivors probably anticipate this. No, they actually start going for the reset inside of main building. Very interesting choice from them. Swift just trying to get a single fresh hook here so that they can camp it. Realistically, though, if they get a fresh hook now, it is not unheard of for the survivors to double save, but it looks like they're going to safely get out of the map. That is going to be Pizza slipping away from Swift. Swift, with an unfortunate win condition set for them, had to change up their playstyle immensely to play around it. And at the end of the day, it leaves them with 3 stages, but a respectable performance from both sides. Archon going to be taking the 2-0 win, fairly dominant on the Demogorgon set. But with that, we are going to wrap up. I hope everybody enjoyed the stream, and we will be back with you very, very soon for more games for the Grindhouse Massacre. Stay tuned.